creature.
Pickle.
Did you grow up with the NES, PlayStation, Star Wars, cartoons, and 80s TV? Do you like to think who would win in a fight between Batman and the Master Chief? Comics, games, movies, music, and TV. They're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of geeks. Comics, games, movies, music, and TV. They're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of This Week in Geek. This Week in Geek.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to ThisWeekInGeek.net. I'm your host, Mike the Birdman, and happy holidays if you happen to be from America, or if you're from Canada. There are sales to be had, but I'm not alone as I truck down the merry aisles of this online shopping. For the love of God, stay home. I'm joined with
Alex, the producer, who, to be quite honest, I don't know if I'm going to have any money to spend on things. I just bought new consoles, so I've got money set aside for like Christmas presents for people, and we'll have to see what these specials are.
Literally before I started this episode, I bought myself one thing for Christmas because I've never seen it restocked. I've only seen this toy line in stores once. I went to walmart.ca, and there's a line of Transformers that came out earlier this year. They're called Transformers Red. They look like they're G1 counterparts from the animated series. They don't transform, so they're kind of like the newest version of the Action Masters.
Like Gundams?
Kind of, but not really. Like they're just really well articulated 6-inch scale figures. So there's Optimus, Megatron, and Soundwave. I have Megatron. I found him on a whim about a month ago for my birthday, and I saw Soundwave was in stock. He's the only one I wanted. Megatron was like number 2. Optimus, yeah, I should want him. I love Optimus Prime, but Soundwave, I'm a radio guy. That's my boy.
If you had Blaster, you'd have to get him. But as far as Optimus goes, at this point, I'm done with Optimus unless it's like dead, charred out, dying Optimus.
They do have some cool Nemesis Prime variants of him where he's just basically black and is like Dark Convoy, but I'm getting off track. I could talk about Transformers.
No. If you're going to go, I mean, think about it. Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
That's right.
So it makes sense why you did that.
Exactly, because who are you calling unchromatic? Now, speaking of Transformers, I actually do have my first Black Friday deal to talk about, and this one is coming from, I just want to make sure I get this name right. This is from our good friend Mika. She sent me this email over, and you can find this over on the Xbox store, but also Walmart.ca has physical copies across all major consoles, and you can get Transformers, and that is Battlegrounds. The digital deluxe edition is on sale on the Xbox store for 30% off. You can get the retail version for about the same price in store in Canada, and the best way to describe this game is sort of like baby's first XCOM. It's like a tactics game where you move on like a hex or on like a grid sort of thing. You fight enemies. You have so many moves. You can do so much in a turn. And it's kind of a weird hybrid of where inspiration comes from. It's sort of like it takes the artwork and style from the IDW stuff with one of the newer Transformers cartoons. I think it's called Cyberverse. And mixes it in with like the Bayverse. I haven't seen any of the new Transformers cartoons in a really long time. But it's weird. And a friend of the show is actually the voice of Soundwave in that. I was actually talking about it to him on Twitter. Mark the Engineer. He also voices, I think, Blockman in Mega Man 11, I think it is, but I've known Mark for years, so that was really cool to hear him as Soundwave. I had a really good time with this game. It so much so it killed my Switch Pro controller today. So that's about how long I was playing.
Which gets like 30 hours of battery.
Yeah, so I was like, well, that sucks. I kind of wanted to play more, so guess I'm waiting. But yeah, that's really fun. And for about $30 ish, it's not bad. I mean, I think if you're a fan of the Transformers franchise, it's better than any of the kind of mobile games. It's not Transformers devastation levels of coolness. But you know what? If you got a young Transformers fan in your house who wants to try something a little bit more advanced, I would say that if they wanted to try a game like XCOM, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I would say if you wanted to compare it to something more contemporary and that kids can get into, it's like Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I would call that one harder, but this one takes a different IP, makes it appealing. I liked it. There is some DLC for it. It's not worth it in my opinion that way, but the base game for like $35, sure, why not? Let's see. So we also have a lot of things to cover in today's thing.
Well, you want me to go first while you gather your thoughts?
Sure.
I only have a couple that are very specific. Like we get sent as part of the press sometimes the sales and they call them, like, you know, winter sales or Black Friday sales early. Sometimes you get sent stuff that's like higher end stuff, like I've got lists of emails describing sale prices on like $5,000 computers down to $3,000. To be honest, there's no point in us mentioning that because, you know, I'm willing to bet that most people right now don't have $3,000 anyway to spend on a on a computer, and if you do, you're probably somebody already searching those out. But as far as items that, you know, can fit in, you know, anybody's budget, Roku, because I remember how I attended you know, an event with them last year. They sent over a couple new devices to check out, so I'll be talking about that on the show this week. But they also said, here's what our Black Friday sale week items are going to be, and these are in Canadian dollars, so in the US adjust accordingly at what, like 30% less roughly. They have their Roku Stream Bar, which is a device they sent for me to check out, and I'll actually in the process of testing it now. But what it is a Roku 4K, like your smart TV box, but it's built into a 4-way speaker that's like a you know, a sound bar that you'd have if you're, you know, if you're somebody who doesn't have like a big surround set or you don't have a lot of space, you might get one of those for your TV. Well, it's all in one, so it turns your TV into a smart device and also does all the audio through it. So it's interesting. I don't think I've seen anybody else do that. Like, I don't think there's like Android TV devices that are also a speaker. So they have that. The regular retail price on it is $189.99. They got it down to $150 right now, so $40 off. They have their Roku Premiere, which is the sort of not the entry level, it's the one up from that. That's 4K. $45, save $5. So I think it's a lot of those. That's an entry level device. So you know, they're not giving you a huge amount off. But then they have the Streaming Stick Plus for $59, which is normally $69, and that's their higher end one that has higher range from the Wi-Fi support. So it has like dual band support on it. So pretty good deals there. The big one being if you're somebody who has just a monitor, you don't have a big speaker setup, or you have a TV, or if you have an elderly person you're looking to get you know, into the 21st century with a streaming device. That Stream Bar is a pretty good deal because you're going to spend like $150 minimum on a sound bar anyway, and if you get that one, you'd also get a 4K Roku player built in, so kind of a good deal. As far as anything else that was sent me earlier last year, it feels like last year, earlier in the pandemic, I had a chance to check out the Grandia HD collection on the Switch. And Gung Ho Entertainment, which is the publisher of that, sent over a list of deals they've got going on for Black Friday week. And it's their whole range. So on the Switch, the Grandia HD collection is going to be $27.99. This is US dollars, by the way. $27.99, which is 30% off of the $40 price tag they usually have. Volta X, which is another new release they had, is 50% off at $10. And then as far as Steam goes, they're going to have something called Dokuro for $250, which is 75% off. The Grandia games are released individually there, so 30% off the first one at $13.99, $9.99, which is 50% off Grandia 2. Let It Die is 50% off at $15. Volta X is $10 as well in there. And they also sell games on the Humble store, like Humble Bundle. So it's the same price point on those as well. So you're looking at anywhere from 30 to 50% off pretty much everything that they publish. And those are my two out of the list of things I was sent that I wanted to mention because I feel like they're good games. And in this case, I don't think a lot of people might think of them. And the Grandia collection on Switch has not really come down in price before. So this is the first time it's been offered at the less than $30 price tag, which is good for two games that, if you like RPGs, you're going to get like 200 hours of gameplay out of them.
Fantastic. All right. So something that I want to draw attention to, as you guys know, I'm fairly deep into the role-playing game community, more specifically with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And the website, tabletopbellhop.com, has some really good deals you need to pay attention to right now. Now, I've talked about a number of D&D products over the course of the year, but they've got this great deal going on right now. Now, this is in the US, but you're probably still saving some money anyway. So still take advantage of this, or get somebody in the States to buy it for you and ship it to your house. They have Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is one of the D&D books that I spent the most time with this year, that I utterly fell in love with. Like, I love this.
You would not shut up about it. You're like, this is the best thing ever.
Well, it's one of the best books that I think they've come out with. Like, it really details the region. They sent me this awesome pack, so full kind of disclosure on that. But just, it's so well done. The adventure is really well laid out.
They sent you a pack, but it's not a paid endorsement.
No, absolutely not. Like, I just really dug it. Plus, there's a singing fish, and there's this new, like...
Oh, and that's right, but that makes all the difference. I know your personality.
Yeah.
If there's a singing fish, it wins.
Yeah, and there's one thing I really like about it too. It's all the new different enemy types. The Frost Maiden herself is a really cool bad guy. And as a preview of things to come, because Alex, you're not playing in this game, and I doubt my players are going to listen to this, I'm setting the big adventure for Fools Who Ride Season 2 in Icewind Dale because of this book. Another thing that's worth talking about, there is a deal through Amazon right now where it's buy two, get one free, is the D&D Curse of Strahd revamped premium edition. They sent this to me. I did not expect to get this. This is a giant box shaped like a coffin of Strahd von Zarevich's grave, basically. So you open this thing up. Alex, were you here when I showed this to you?
You showed me pictures, and then you called me. I'm like, why are you calling me? What's wrong? You're like, nothing's wrong. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, like, it was this giant box. I mean, this thing will not fit on a shelf. So you get like a Game Master screen. You get a couple of different books. You get the actual Taroka deck itself, and the character sheet for Strahd von Zarevich himself is included. And what do I mean by that is there's this huge coffin-shaped character sheet of Strahd, and on one side is his stats, like all of his kind of stat block and everything, and on the other side of the sheet is him in his coffin with his arms folded over his chest. It's wonderfully painted. This is a premium product. I have never seen this in stores. Right now they want $70 for it. Holy shit, is that worth it? That is ridiculous.
And is that US dollars?
Yes. Still, doesn't matter.
So even $100, you get a fair amount with it.
Yeah, like, it's a nice update. If you already have the earlier edition of Curse of Strahd, maybe read a couple of different reviews on it, because they do take up some of the more problematic elements of it, is what I can say. But it's still worth, if you don't have the Curse of Strahd, this is a premium D&D product. I mean, if I got this for Christmas, I would be so literally fucking thrilled. Like, this is the first premium D&D thing I've ever gotten. Like, this is way beyond the old box sets of, like, here's Planescape or Spelljammer or Dark Sun, whatever. Fuck those games. This is Ravenloft. Ravenloft is my favorite setting of all time.
Maybe not fuck those games, but in your opinion, you like the other one better.
Yeah, like Ravenloft has just been my favorite setting. Although another thing to point out in this great sale is you can pick up some of the other things that have come out. Now, earlier this year, I reviewed the D&D Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, which is based upon Critical Role Season 2. And I've made no secret, I'm not a fan of Critical Role. I just don't like it. But this book introduced some really cool ideas to magic, like using time magic, using gravity. Like you can throw black holes at people and crush them. You can weight them to a space. There's another ability where you can create versions of yourself from different quantum realities who then kill the guy and their turn doesn't count, and all these other crazy abilities. It's really, really, really neat. Obviously, having a knowledge of Critical Role would certainly help, but that's not to say you couldn't go to, say, Sigil and you suddenly appear in the world where Critical Role happens. Like, it was just an incredible book. Adds a lot of utility to your game, adds a couple new playable races, if I'm not mistaken. It was really, really, really cool. And that's some of the things you can check out. There's also a bunch of like other things over there too. I'm just reading the page there. There's role-playing games with like coupons where I mentioned Rime of the Frost Maiden for like $20. It also stacks with that sale of buy two, get one free RPG sale. So there's stuff from Green Ronin and their Fantasy AGE game, which is what powers their Dragon Age RPG, also powered Titan's Grave, if you remember that, with Will Wheaton a couple of years ago. There's a lot of Pathfinder first edition stuff over there, which I'm a huge fan of still. Haven't gotten into second edition, so I really couldn't tell you. But yeah, it's worth it. Like, just if you want to get into D&D, you can get the core rulebooks gift set. I'm just going to look up how much that is right now. You get the DM guide, player's handbook, monster manual for $90. That's a really good friggin' deal, down from $169. So if you want to get in the role play, we're all using Zoom, Discord, and any other virtual service right now. You might as well get into it. So yeah, that's some of the things, but it's a big highlight. That Curse of Strahd revamped premium box set, so worth it. Like, it's one of the coolest things I've ever gotten, and I really hope someone will take a trip to Ravenloft this holiday season. Beat that motherfucker.
Is it, you like Ravenloft simply because it's the closest to like the Universal Monster world?
You know what? I think so. It's something about that dark setting and that gothic setting. Like, to me, it's
reminds you of growing up north.
It's kind of like Castlevania meets D&D, and that is such an attraction of materials to me.
Because when I think of, like, from what I've played with you of Ravenloft, it makes me think of Silent Hill.
Yeah, and there's that fog that always surrounds everything.
Like, to me, this is like, I'm envisioning in my head, when you play it and you design those games in that world, it's like you're playing one of your favorite Capcom or Konami survival horrors.
Yeah, like that would be a pretty good way to describe it, actually. So to kind of move away from books and other things, This Week in Geek specializes a lot in video games. It seems to be sort of what we do the best around here. And some of these things, as we did mention, I talked about Transformers Battleground off the top of the show. I have a bunch of tabs open on my computer, so I'm just going to read you a couple of different highlights of games I think you should check out. Now, I'm going to start on the PlayStation Store. Now, this is the Canadian PlayStation Store. I would imagine these translate to the US. I can't see why they wouldn't. And I'm going to pick 3 games I think you should check out. The first game, and Alex is going to agree with me on this, for about $52. That is, I think is that the deluxe edition? Just let me check. I'm just making sure that I'm right here. No, either way, for $52 or 34% off, you can get Final Fantasy VII Remake. That is one of the best games I've played this year.
Especially if you like have the PS4 Pro or jumping up to PS5, because on PS5 it just plays flawlessly. Like it's not, I don't think it's uncapped. It's still 30 FPS, but there's no dips and it just loads faster, everything. If you're playing on standard, original PS4, it's still great. It's still a good deal. But if you're somebody who held off until now or didn't have money, I don't think you're going to get a better price until they come out with like a next gen version or till the next game comes out.
Yeah.
I don't see them dropping the price of that game anytime soon, at least for another 6 months to a year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was one of the best experiences I had. A lot of people went in with a lot of reservations and expectations for Final Fantasy VII Remake, myself included. But it was a wonderful way to spend my July this year when I took time off of the show. I had a lot of fun with it. Another game that I want to recommend, this one comes to us from Activision, and that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I think it's called like the remake or the remaster or whatever it is. That is 25% off, so it's about $44. It is so cool to have Tony Hawk in HD. You get a bunch of new skaters, but all the skaters have been aged up to look age appropriate. So you get to have old Tony Hawk shredding the like kind of warehouse level or shredding like Area 51, I think it is. One of the best soundtracks in video games. Like I had a lot of fun with this game. There was a collector's edition version of this game that came with a birdhouse skate deck, which what's a guy in a wheelchair going to do with a skateboard? But that would have been cool.
Well, you could make it work. We just need a flat board. We need to make you one, like a giant. We need to make you, instead of a wheelchair board, we just need to make a skateboard that's like as wide as a lounge seat, and then we can plop you down on top of it, and you can just pull yourself along.
But yeah, like I had so much fun with this game. It was a lot of fun during its release period. I'm glad to see it get a like price cut here. You can also pick up the digital deluxe version, which gives you a few more costumes and some other things for just a few dollars more at $48.99. Totally worth it. And then my last pick, and right now I'm saying this is probably tied for my game of the year right now, Persona 5 Royal. It's 50% off at $39.99. There is no question you should buy this.
If you take your time and you're not somebody like me who reads really fast and skips every piece of dialogue, you're getting anywhere from 120 to 150 hours, and not a second of it is boring.
Yeah, like it's just one of those games that took me away to an entirely different world. I've waxed philosophical with this. We've interviewed Madarame himself, Kyle Bear, earlier this year. We talked with Ken Lutz about this. I'm sure when Persona 5 Strikers finally gets announced for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch at some point later on, we will be talking about it again. So, fingers crossed. Moving on to our next flyer, I want to talk about, this one is specifically Canadian, and this comes from ebgames.ca. Their Black Friday sale begins tomorrow, November 26th, and you can get Watch Dogs Legion on the Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 for $49.99. I think that's actually pretty worth it. I mean, it's actually a remarkably fun game. I talked about it extensively with Alex. We did some last gen coverage of it like last week. It does have some narrative problems with it, but it does move the story forward and the meta plot of it. And I forgot to mention this in my extended coverage for this game. The Seasons Pass does tie into the previous games because Aiden Pierce, who was the hero of the first game, does come back, and there is a character you can recruit who is a canon member of the Assassin's Brotherhood from the Assassin's Creed games. So these two worlds exist in the same continuity. So I guess Abstergo and Bloom Security, I guess there's something kind of going on there. Other things of note is Star Wars Squadrons. You are saving $25 off this. You can get that game for $30.
And sorry,
Ridiculously worth it.
which store are we on right now? Just a reminder for
We
everybody.
We are on ebgames.ca.
Okay.
I'm gonna click to the second page here. You can get games that are digital for $12 or sorry, $12.99. You can get Hellblade, Gears of War 5, which is pretty cool. Battletoads, which I hear actually was surprisingly good. Another game, me and Alex mentioned it would be worth it if it was about $25 at $29. I don't think it's a terrible game. Maybe 2K's Battlegrounds for WWE.
Yeah, a $30 game it is. A full price game it is not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's fun for kids. If your kids like the big kind of wrestlers and all that kind of goofy physics, it's worth it for that.
If you're looking for something, you've got 3 or 4 kids that might play, and you're looking for something to kill Christmas break with, and you don't want to break the bank, it's not bad at that price.
Yeah, like it's a really good stocking stuffer. I mean, if you told grandma and grandpa to get this for the kids, they're not going to argue with grandpa and grandma.
Yeah, and I mean, and to piggyback, you're going to find that a lot of these stores like EB, Best Buy, Walmart, they're going to have similar games on price around the same prices. You might see the 1 or 2 standouts, because you mentioned, Michael, that Final Fantasy VII was what, $52,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $49 physical at Best Buy.
Yeah, so look around. You will find similar prices, maybe a few bucks up or down.
And generally, if you see something like that where it says one place has Final Fantasy, or also Best Buy has Ghost of Tsushima also for $50, killer deal, considering that they just put a PS5 patch to it that unlocks the frame rate to full 60 at 4K. So if you see one at one of these flyers, and you go out to the store or you order online and you're like, crap, it's gone, expect that these high profile titles for the most part will be within about $5 of each other at all these other locations.
Mm-hmm. Another one that I think is worth highlighting is The Last of Us Part 2 is currently saving $40 off. You can get that for about $39.99. You can find this, once again, similar deals at like EB Games, Best Buy, Walmart, look around, or you can buy it digital, I think, as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. Actually, I'm almost positive you can.
And when it comes to Nintendo, everybody always freaks out like, oh my God, when are they having a first party sale? Right now.
Yeah, actually, yeah, like you can save $30. So for $50, you can get Mario Tennis Aces. I bought myself this game, Zelda Link's Awakening. Luigi's Mansion 3 is ridiculously worth it. That's
Fire Emblem as well, which is going to be one that I think it's not going to be something that stays in stock.
It's something that I'm wanting to pull the trigger on it, but I don't know whether I should, because I know it's good.
I had a very good time, and it can get hard, but there is 3 or 4 or 5 in some cases different endings depending on how you make your choices.
Oh wow! So yeah, that's pretty fucking deep.
At 50 Canadian, these are games that never go below 80.
Yeah. You can also pick up Super Mario Maker 2. That's not my thing, but if you're really into that community-made focus content, there's also Yoshi's Woolly World. You really liked it, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. Also, another killer deal that you'll see a lot of stores stocking right now is I'm not personally a fan of FIFA, but I know there are tons out there, and I know that regardless of what people are thinking about their I guess like loot boxes in it, but they're bundling it right now with a DualShock 4 controller for $99. That's literally $10 more than it costs to buy the controller.
So they're basically just, here, take this game.
And it's coming with what does it say here? It comes with the physical version of the game. So I'm not saying you could get the game and controller and sell the game for 50% of retail and recoup some of the cost in your controller, but you could.
One deal that I want to point out on ebgames.ca, because I love these two games when they're on Xbox 360 and PS3 and PS4, is the Assassin's Creed there are two games. I can't read what it says just because the text is too small. But it's the 2-pack of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Rogue. Rogue was underappreciated last generation. I was surprised it got a remaster on PlayStation 4, but it's ridiculously fun. Like if you haven't played it, play it.
There's also bundles right now digitally on most of the stores to get Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla together, and sometimes I think they're including a third game. I think it's the last Assassin's Creed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like $100 or $120 to get. You're saving, I think, like 30 or 40% if you buy them together.
Another one that kind of surprised me, I'm surprised it's got a price drop so quickly, was Mafia Definitive Edition on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and nothing but praise pretty much from everybody about that game.
Except for that race car mission, which you all know what I'm talking about.
Well, okay. Shush. McShushy.
But yeah.
And not to make this just about games, to shake it up. If you're wondering, hey, I've got all these games, I'm looking for a TV to play everything on.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of deals right now on televisions. From experience, I've found that just because it's not a Sony or a Samsung doesn't mean it's a bad TV nowadays. Even Hisense and TCL are making high quality TVs now.
We have TCLs.
Yes, you have last year's TCL model. I have technically the year earlier's model. Yours is a 55-inch 4K with Dolby Vision, blah, blah, blah. Mine's same deal, but mine's 65 inches. In the bedroom, I have their 4 series, which was their cheaper series, 4K 50-inch. And you'd be hard-pressed under regular circumstances. And again, we're not sponsored. We're not paid by them or anything. This is just poor people doing research on what they can get for the cheapest that actually looks good because they're poor. You'd be hard pressed to find anything better than it without doubling the price. And right now, Best Buy has the newest version of the 65-inch that I have. Black Friday deal, $800 for a 65-inch, and it's a QLED TV. That's that new tech that brings the like the quality of it. I think I've got to double check. I think this is the one that has the true 120 hertz monitor. I'll double check, but regardless, for $800, under $1,000, you can get a TV that's 65 inches. In today's day and age, with the technology involved, is kind of crazy. They also have a 4K Toshiba at Best Buy 50-inch Fire Edition. Who cares? Fire, Roku, whatever. Smart TV, $369. Does $230 off. That's kind of crazy. Can you imagine, like when we were starting to play, like when we were looking for TVs when the PS3 and 360 came out, and we were looking to go from a full screen to a flat screen? Could you imagine a time when you would be? First of all, the resolution didn't exist. When you could get a 50-inch TV for under $1,000.
Yeah, like I remember when I bought my first big TV, I was so proud of myself. It was a 32-inch. The fucker weighed like 50 pounds, and I paid like $600 for it.
Yeah, I worked at Future Shop, and even with my discount, and the warranty was really dirt cheap when you worked there. But I got a 32-inch 1080p LCD panel, not LED, because this is 2007. And I think I paid $450 for a 32-inch, and that was the store brand. And the only reason I got the Insignia was that was the year that they started sourcing their panels from Samsung. People didn't know that. I did because I worked there. So if you could pay $400 for that TV, or pay $900 if it just said Samsung on it, but it was the exact same panel. So that TV, my mom still has, and it works just fine. So, that was well worth the money. But getting, anything above a 32-inch has always been like, when you hit the 40, it used to be like $600. But like to get 50 or above, you very rarely, even today, can get a quality TV for less than $500. And if you're looking now and you're looking on a shoestring budget, go there. A lot of companies right now are offering like 43 inches, 50 inches. You'll see them for like $200. Those are all 1080p TVs. And to be honest, it's not worth spending that money anymore. You should not, in today's day and age, unless you're buying a 32-inch or less, buy anything that's not 4K, because it's a waste of money.
Yeah, because now is the time. The technology's cheap enough. It's accessible enough. Everything's going that way anyway.
Yes, the only reason I would say if you wanted to get like a 32 or even a 40, that's 1080p.
Maybe for your bedroom.
For your bedroom or as a
cottage.
monitor. But a monitor, that's the pixel size is getting off. If it's a true 120 hertz. So if you're somebody who doesn't really care, I don't care if my TV is 4K, I just want to have a fast gaming response time, you might be able to save a little bit of cash by doing the research. Don't get something that says like True Motion or Motion Vision or blah, 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 120, 140. It has to do the research and see that it is an actual true 120 hertz display or monitor. So you can get like a 32-inch gaming monitor that's 144 or 240 hertz for fairly cheap, but it's hard to find a TV that's like that until you get to the high end. But like if your choices are, if you want to watch movies and you plan on future proofing, if you want to have this TV last you the next 5-6 years, don't go with anything but a 4K. So don't get suckered in by them trying to sell off stock, being like Black Friday deal, $150 for a 43-inch TV. The catch is that it's a piece of garbage in today's day and age. It might be a better TV than you currently own, but now you're behind the 8 ball again, and you got to wait how long till you can afford another TV? Just save up, and if you can afford it, pay about $300, get a 4K TV. Try to get one that has HDR if you can. There's lots of options out there. Back to your regular scheduled gaming deals here.
Okay, so this is a deal that you probably should have seen coming because it's me. You guys know, if you've been a fan of the show over the last 5 years, I am a huge proponent of the energy drink G Fuel. Use code FUYA, by the way, when you can. But right now they have a BOGO sale going on. And it's totally worth it for the next 4 days. So probably 3 days as of tomorrow. And a majority of their flavors are on sale. So I'm just going to very quickly go through them, and I'll give you a couple of recommendations. There's Bahama Mama, Battle Juice, Black on Blackberry, Blue Ice, Bubblegum, Phase X, Phase Berry, which I recommend. French vanilla iced coffee, also quite good. Grape guava hype sauce, which is raspberry lemonade. There's moon pie flavor, not as good as I thought it was going to be. Nemesis tea, which if you live internationally, you can now get. I guess they got all the licensing worked out, so you just have to select the international release. There's PewDiePie's flavor, which is like Ligonberry, I think.
Now, for those of you that are maybe have bad reactions to caffeine and stuff, is the hydration stuff on sale as well?
Not that I can see.
Because I know that there were some issues at one point of them shipping that internationally.
Yeah, because I ran into some pretty big customs fees at one point.
But regardless, there's a couple of those that if you want to go completely sugar free, there are ones. Isn't the orange one also?
Yeah, there is an orange one that is caffeine free. I don't see it in this sale though.
Okay.
But if you do want to purchase it, use code FUYA. That's FOOYA. You can save 10% that way. Rage and Gummy Fish is actually really good. That actually really, really surprised me. Rainbow Sherbet's not terrible. Snow Cone I found to be a little too sweet. Sonic's Peach Rings, based on Sonic the Hedgehog. I should be getting that in the next week or so. Cool. Sour Blue Chug Jug is pretty much the Chug Jug from Fortnite, and it's really good. Sour Phase Berry, also quite good. Spicy Demonade was what they tied into Doom Eternal's release. I don't know why you want a spicy drink. I would avoid this one.
Some people do, man. It's just
it's weird. It's scary.
You know what it is? Look at it could be international too. Like if you go to Mexico, a lot of their candies, it's like sweet, and then it'll have like chili powder in it.
Yeah,
like their lollipops, right?
I found that.
So I mean, it's like a South American thing, and just like how in Northern Europe, they have like the extra overly salty licorice, where to us it's like poison, or as a website I read, described it when my friend, I'll preface it, said he loved it, and he's like, he thought everybody was lying when they said they don't, because he just grew up having it. And I said, let's find a reputable website. We found one that reviewed candy, and it was like a very official thing with all these long paragraphs for every piece of candy internationally, except instead of having multiple pages like every other review did, the salt licorice had one sentence: it tastes like licking basement. And ever since then, that's been seared into my mind. So everybody has their own backgrounds, so I can see why they might want to cater to that. I wouldn't want a spicy drink. It'll make me sweat more.
I would try it, but I wouldn't pay for it. But hey, it's BOGO, so if you want to try something, now's the time. And then the final couple of flavors are Starfruit, Strawberry Banana, which is very good. Strawberry Shortcake is good, but pro tip, make it with milk, and it's phenomenal.
Oh, so yeah. there's their hacker life hacks or whatever.
Oh, there are so many with this. Like, we made a Arnold Palmer before they made the Nemesis tea flavor. It was delicious. And then finally there is Tropical Rain, which I gave to you. I didn't much care for it.
To give you an idea, it's okay, but I still have it a year later.
Yeah, so that should give you an idea. And then finally, watermelon. I don't like watermelon, but maybe you will.
Oh, I would totally love watermelon.
So yeah, once again, you can pick these up as a buy one, get one free for the next couple of days if you live in the U.S. These will ship remarkably quickly. International, at least in Canada, if I ordered on Monday, I'll probably have it by the following Wednesday, maybe that Friday. It's about a week and a half for it to get to Canada. So, although with the holidays, who knows? So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. Oh no, well, wait, I got one last thing. Take me 2 seconds. Cool. Going back to Walmart.ca, you can get certain Transformers if you're a huge toy fan, and they're from Siege and I think or maybe Cyberverse. I'm not 100% sure, but they're about $15. I don't know what the selection's like right now, so if you're on Walmart.ca, go look. But also check your kind of local stores too. You might find something really cool. I myself am looking for Ultra Magnus. If I could pick him up, or like maybe Prowl or Wheeljack, I'd be pretty happy. So we'll wait and see.
Okay, is that so? You've cleared up what everything.
That's it. That's everything. Go home.
Okay. So you forgot a couple categories. One, well, music. I don't think as many people are buying music as we might, but there are people that are out there.
Spotify.
So,
Spotify.
Or if you're somebody who wants to collect, or like me, you like to have some physical. Lots of places are doing sales on vinyl and CD, so check them out. Nothing in particular that way, but movie-wise, one thing that people might be forgetting is if you're somebody who got a hold of, and there's multiple millions of us now that did get a next-gen console, even though the vast majority of people you'll see online said that they're sold out everywhere, nobody can get them. People did get them. We got them. For a lot of people that are getting a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, especially if you're somebody who didn't go with the mid-generation replacements last gen, this is your first time that you've had a built-in dedicated 4K UHD Blu-ray player. So something to keep in mind is, what was it, like a week ago? They were selling some Warner Brothers 4K titles for like $4.
Yeah, I got the Matrix movies. I got Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, the box set for $15. I got Dr. Sleep was on sale for $3. The Dark Knight collection was $15. It sold out immediately.
And these are titles that, like, you say, oh, I can watch 4K streaming. No, bad. We got to get the spray bottle out to people that think that streaming is the same quality as what you're delivered. Streaming would only be the same quality if your internet connection was like 2 gigabit and you had no drops, and they somehow could supply you with the data rate. To give you an idea, a 4K stream, even when you're watching like The Mandalorian, you're maxing out at about 6 megabytes per second. And that's if you have a really high-end connection and it's stable. If you're watching a 4K Blu-ray, which is 100 gigs, your data rate is at about 35 to 40 megabytes per second. Think about the difference in quality there of just dedicated stream data. and then audio and all that sort of stuff, and then special features. So when you're, I understand if you don't want to spend $30 on a movie, but when you can get Dr. Sleep for $3, and a lot of these sets also include a DVD or digital copy.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I'm actually looking through a Twitter account who actually I've got to give this guy a huge shout out.
I think he's based out of the prairies.
Yeah, his Twitter tag is LBABINZ, and he does all the Canadian deals. I think he does one for America too, but he gives you the lowdown. And I just looked at this right now. If you want to get Sonic the Hedgehog, which was arguably one of the best video game movies ever made,
and one of the
4K.
best movies of last year. I think it's the highest grossing movie of 2020.
Isn't that the most 2020 thing ever?
Because it came out before, like Onward would have beat it, but it was out for 3 days.
So yeah, you can pick this up in 4K with a Blu-ray and a digital copy for $20.
Yeah, right now Amazon has a sale. If you go right to their banner, it'll be the States or Canada, and they have a save up to 50% on select 4K discs. There's 46 titles. You can get 1917, which was like one of the best movies of last year, for $20. Comes with 4K, Blu-ray, and digital. The Great Wall, which I still haven't seen with Matt Damon, $12. What else? Hacksaw Ridge, $12. $12 for The Huntsman. Midway's 21. It's probably not worth it.
Actually, Midway was how much? $12?
21.
No, if it was $12, sure, it's a stocking stuffer. But
Deepwater Horizon 13, Abominable 14, Yesterday 14, Casino 16 is worth it. $16 for Casino. The Hulk movie, which is the Ed Norton one, so I guess the Incredible Hulk, $16 on 4K. That's worth it because it's.
That's the one that's really hard to find.
Yeah, because you can find the Ang Lee Hulk, which I still defend to the death as being one of my favorite ones, because I actually loved the ending, the way that the fight turned into flashes of memories and everything. I kind of like that.
I remember seeing that at this weird hole in the wall theater in London, Ontario. I took my girlfriend at the time to go see it, and it was like the most perfect movie date where you could have got we got a pop and popcorn. This was in 2003 for $3, and it was like the little popcorn that was about as long as your arm, because like I said, it was just a little hole in the wall theater. There was like 2 or 3 screens, and it was all movies that were like second run. So that entire date for popcorn and a pop and the movie for me and her, I think I paid less than $15.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh, it was awesome.
Well, and even like last year, didn't Parasite won Best Picture?
Mm-hmm.
It's $23 on 4K.
Oh wow!
And that's 4K, Blu-ray, digital copy. Halloween's $24. It's not really on sale. A lot of these have like $5 DVDs. I mean, sure, but today, like that's 3 generations old. Like, have you tried watching a DVD that's 480i upscaled on your TV on a 4K TV that's 55 inches?
It looks weird.
It looks like trying to watch a VHS. It's because of the it just can't upscale the way that even a Blu-ray. 1080p looks fine, obviously, but even a Blu-ray is pushing it in some cases if you have a huge TV. Bourne Identity, the Bourne Ultimate Collection is now up to $89, but they have these like daily lightning deals, and that was down to like 30 at one point. So there's going to be a lot of things you can find on here that are in like the $12 range right now, and that's a killer deal if you're somebody who just got a PS5 or Series X, or if you're somebody who couldn't get them but still wanted to get an upgrade to your system, or it's your first system and you have a 1S or a 1X, and you're still going to use that until you can afford to or wait down the line to get a next gen console. Both of those also will play the 4K movies. So I mean, Scarface is $20.
That's totally worth it. And it's also one of my favorite movies of like all time.
So and these, like, they look night and day better than any streaming copy you've ever seen. So keep an eye out. It might be something to get as a stocking stuffer if you got a family console, especially if or if you're planning to get one. The fact that almost all of these also have a Blu-ray included, you can future-proof yourself for when you can get a next-gen console, because you may as well use them while you can, because you're not going to find quality like this. There's not a single streaming service in the world that provides the quality you get, even a quarter of the quality you get from these 4K discs.
Yeah.
So support it while you can, because if they've determined that you're not going to buy them and that they can get away with giving you inferior quality, they will.
Yeah. So please keep an eye out to Amazon, to Walmart, to Best Buy. Go out, look. You might be surprised what's in those bins right now. I can't think of much more we can really talk about. I mean,
Yeah,
I know there's going to be some stuff at like toysrus.ca and toysrus.com if you want to look there.
Yeah, they're small tech and stuff, and you're going to find that people are running deals digitally on the Steam sale, or if you're looking for little bits and pieces here and there, now might be a good time, especially before the Christmas rush hits, to check out Amazon. All of the Amazon basics items, like if you need to get cables or HDMI stuff or battery chargers, a lot of the partners that are on there that we've gotten review items from, like Anchor and PDP and all, they're all running their own individual sales. So if you've heard something that we've reviewed on the show in the last year that you thought was cool, but maybe couldn't afford right away, it might be worth, remembering that, looking it up, and you're probably going to find that almost everything we've talked about is on sale for 20 to 50% off right now.
Yeah, so like look around, guys. You might be surprised what's out there. I know in terms of Steam, I know Persona 4 Golden's like $20 right now. Totally worth it.
And the more you get of that, the more likely we are to see them port it to other platforms too.
Yeah. So for the love of God, put this on PlayStation. So anyway, on that note, that's going to do it for this edition of our Black Friday 2020. Big thanks to all of our partners who have provided us with the emails and deals to let us know about some of these things. That Twitter account, once again, oh my God, this man does the Lord's work. So once again,
we'll put his Twitter in the description of the show. We're not going to list every sale we got because it would be too many.
It's as long as my arm at this point.
Yes. So, listen to the show. And as far as if you're looking for updates and really quick sales and within minutes of them going live, we'll put that Twitter in the show description for you. Yeah.
So like I said, this man does the Lord's work. Tell him at This Week in Geek sent you. We love him more than words will ever describe.
He got you a system.
He got me a system. This man, you'll have my axe.
Well, he didn't get it for you. He's the one that provided you the information on when to get it.
Yeah, I was like, and I was there. So anyway, we are excited. We are done. Do your shopping. If you are Canadian, you're going to work on Monday. Just the way it is.
Well, you're going to work on Monday unless you live in Toronto or Peel. And then you're working from home.
So, but if you happen to live in the States and you are listening to us, I want you guys to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving weekend. Please follow local health guidelines. Please be safe. It's not worth risking your health and the health of your family for some turkey. It's really not.
It's a good time to, teach mom and dad how to use video chat.
Yeah. It's a great time to be a Zoom investor, let me tell you.
I mean, you know what? If you have family that can't make it out, what better way to celebrate Turkey Day than to play a bunch of multiplayer games together?
Yeah. Like, for example, one last recommendation. Jackbox 7 is one of the best Jackboxes I've played. I reviewed it a few weekends ago. It's going to end up in our holiday gift guide.
Just watch out if you're playing it with your dirty uncle.
Yeah, it'll get real vulgar real fast.
And if your dirty uncle happens to be named Alex, it's going to go downhill pretty fast.
So we do hope you will check that out and all these suggestions we have given to you over the past hour or so here on the show. So until later on in the week, I will be back tomorrow talking about Cyberpunk Red. For This Week in Geek, we have been
Alex, the producer.
I've been Mike, the Birdman, saying be excellent to each other. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you guys again next time, right here on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at ThisWeekInGeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@thisweekingeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.